version 4.2. New feature in RC Crew 4.2 is damping. We now have a damping tab on the main page here. Clicking on it, and you're going to be able to do some simulations, and these are the shock model that's used in the program is actually based on shock dyno testing. So this is got very good correlation with the actual test data, so we're not dealing with pie in the sky stuff here. So we have, this is a step response graph. You have various inputs that you can grab here. You can compare two different setups. So if we've got different piston configurations we want to look at, so let's just select a different one here. Now you can see the two different curves and the two different, or the give you two different responses. So we can click on, for the off-road guys, we can look at the response to landing off a jump. This is a small jump, medium jump. You can see here the blue line is actually bottoming out and the red line is not. So it may be a very valuable tool for you off-road guys. The other thing is there's damping piston or graphing that you can do to compare different pistons. You can compare either a viscosity range or a temperature range. In this case, we're just going to look at a viscosity range. So I'm going to do a 100 CST increment here at a 20 degrees C temperature. And this is going to graph what's called the damping ratio over the wheel velocity range of 10 to 2000 millimeters per second. The wheel velocity is the upward or downward velocity of the wheel. So I just click graph here. So you can see here you get the graphs that show you how your damping ratio increases. This is also what you guys, off-road guys, like to call pack. So you can see, how the pack changes. If you look at some different graphs here, let's look at a couple of different guys here, and you can see that the slope of this line, once we get out into the higher velocity range, which is the pack range, that the slope of these lines change depending on what the piston hole configuration is. So again, very valuable tool. On the setup tab, you also get a display of what the damping ratio is, and this is in the handling range. So this is at the lower velocity range. As you go in and change things here, if we change to a different piston, you'll see the damping ratio is changing here. We can change our shock oil value to 50, and you can change all this sort of stuff. You can look at temperature. You can change that too. Oops, I'm going to go too fast here so I don't put you guys to sleep. So you can change temperature as well. So I'll do some more videos and go into this stuff a little bit more in depth, but I just wanted to show you what's available. To make all this work, all you have to do is add a shock model, and try to make that as easy as possible as well. So I'm going to import a file that does not have a shock model in it. So we'll just get this guy in. Okay, imported successfully. Close them out, and now you're going to get a notice that says there is no damper model for this one, so we're going to resolve that quickly. All we're going to do is click on the chassis manager, go to the new shock tab. It's going to tell you again that there are no shock models. So when you open this, because there's no shock models, all these text boxes here are all blanked up, because what you need to do is select one from the pre-done generic ones, then you can modify. So I loaded a Techno Truggy here, so we'll do 8-scale Truggy front, and then for the rear, gives you an option here if you want to just use the same model front and rear, you can do that. In this case we don't, because the shocks are a little different front to rear, so we have a rear one here. So we click on that, and that's it, you're done. You can go in and you can change, just go back this again, you can go in and change all these values. You can add more pistons. If you want to do your own measurements, your own shocks, there's a measurement worksheet here that you can print out with all the different measurements that you need to take. You can play with that. Okay, so that's it. We can go now. We can go back into our setup tab here, and the other thing it's probably going to do is it looks to make sure that you have entered shock oil viscosities in the correct range. I know a lot of people use oil weight, which is not an engineering unit. You need to enter all your shock oils in CST units, which stands for centistokes. So it's going to go through and check and say, okay, you don't have the right ones. So what it's done here, you can see it's highlighted it. So it's entered a default value of 350. So if you just click save, then that'll all go away and you'll be good to go. So that's it. I'll do some more videos here in the not too distant future, but that should give you a good heads up as to what it's all about.